Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Live. I am your host, Professor Nez, and this is a show where you learn practical tools to apply towards ending the torture of the psychological mind so you can get yourself out of your own way and be the best that you can be. Oh boy, so excited. So excited to see you guys, Nez Nation. This has just been fantastic. We have just ended another semester. Another semester in the books. Christmas coming up, the holidays. It is December 2016, December 17th as I broadcast this live to be exact. And when you're doing live video, a lot of things can happen. You know, anybody who's done live broadcasting before, whether it's on social media or whether it's pre-produced or in a more professional kind of setting, even though I've got a studio here and I'm trying to be as professional as I can, I want to try to bring it the best way that I can possible. I'm going to try and share this out if I can. See if I can real quickly to get more people. We're talking about how to learn mindset. How do you learn mindset? Professor Nez, what exactly are you talking about? Like, what does that mean, how to learn mindset? Like, what goes into that and why is that so important? Well, first of all, why I think it's the most important skill is for you to fully function in the present moment, for you to fully function in reality, okay? Most of us, we're always thinking about what's happening tomorrow, and we're always thinking about what didn't go well yesterday, right? So anxiety, fear, nervousness, stress is usually caused, and by the way, back up all this stuff. Don't take Professor Nez. Let me just back up for a second here. And by the way, those of you who are live watching, I see you guys typing in some questions. I can respond. I've got my desktop here. I've got my studio here. We are going right now. So excited to be here. So first of all, let me back up. This is what's really, really interesting right now, and this is what I tell my students all the time, okay? And if you don't know who I am, if you're new to the stream, I am Professor Nez. Okay, I'm an author, speaker, and a writing professor at several universities in Southern California. I am a storyteller at heart. I eat, sleep, and breathe writing and reading and storytelling. It is in my blood. It is what I do, and I love to help clients, students, small businesses, anybody I can, inspire them to, understand who they truly are and what kind of tools they can use to better understand the world around them. Mindset is, to me, the most important. It's the most important question in the human kingdom, which the question that I'm speaking of revolves around who are you and where is your place in this thing called life. This, if you haven't heard, if you haven't seen what's been happening out there in kind of, media, not just social media, but just media in general. A lot of, specifically Facebook, which, again, Facebook has 2 billion users. 2 billion users per day. I mean, that's bigger than China, okay? It's just insane. Let me know how the audio is coming in too. Let me know how the audio and video. I know we had some complications last time I tried to do this. Not gonna happen today, y'all. I'm fixing that shit. Facebook has been accused of, purveying some fake news and, some news that is not legitimate. And I think actually it was beautiful. I think it's just awesome that this has come out because what I tell my students all the time is don't take my word for it. Don't trust any professor. Don't trust any authority figure. You need to investigate for yourself. This show is all about investigation, asking the tough questions. What is the truth? Not just about what is the truth about the world you're living in, what is the truth about optimal functioning in the world, mindset, non-mindset, what have you, but what is your truth? Okay, and where do you get your truth? And how do you decide what is true? How do you decide what is impactful for you? So learning mindset really complements this idea of self-investigation, self-inquiry, self-awareness. What's the common denominator? Self, you. So don't take anybody's word for it. You investigate everything. If it hits you, okay, if it hits you on a level that screams truth and familiarity, which is what, to me, the truth is just familiarity. That's all the truth is. Everything I talk about on this show is nothing new. This is all stuff that you already know, okay? And the reason why it's the truth, the reason why maybe it feels like the truth, is because the truth always feels familiar. It's that warm glow that bathes your innards when you hear something, see something, exposed to something, or understand something. That beautiful understanding. There's a technical term for it. It's got the vagus nerve that goes through the center portion of your nervous system, and it sends that sort of glowing feeling where your chest gets all warm, and a hot tear, a tear of understanding, revelation, enlightenment, if you will, starts to appear. So learning mindset, how to learn mindset, and what do I mean by that? Stress, anxiety, fear is usually caused by something that hasn't happened yet. Okay, for the majority of, instances, it relates to something that has not occurred yet, some kind of future event. Regret, depression, sadness, forlorn, grieving usually has something to do with an event that happened back there in the past. Investigate for yourself everything that I'm talking about. I think the fact that fake news is sort of like this trending topic right now at the end of 2016, for those of you who are watching this maybe 100 years from now or on the replay, we're in 2016, so shit might have changed by then. I hope it has, at least. This is something that is happening on a very, very interesting level, because it only confirms what I've been saying time and time again, and that is investigate for yourself. Investigate your truths for yourself. Find out what it is, okay, that you think actually makes sense, all right? If you're hearing something, let's just take, for example, me. You're hearing me talk to you about how to learn mindset. Well, who is this guy? Who is Professor Nez? Who cares if he's written 7 books? Who cares if he's a writing professor? Who cares if he's a speaker? He's an engager. He's been doing this for over 25, 30 years. Let's really investigate this. Let's find out, corroborate his concepts. Let's corroborate. This is the true essence of critical thinking. This is the true essence of self-investigation, which is what this show is all about. That's what this show is all about. That's why I love this show, and I love the participants. I love you, Nez Nation, my audience, my beautiful audience, who is so immersed in this and so engaged. You have to reclaim your power. You have to reclaim your power. You have this ability, okay, to not take this guy so seriously, okay, or at least for the very mere kind of on a mild level, at the very, very least, investigate what it is that's happening in here. Too many of us are hypnotized. We're living in here way too much, and we're not living in here at all. Okay, we're just trapped in this constant struggle of what's coming up and what happened back there. In the meantime, life is happening right this very second. Life is happening right now, and we're missing it because we're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, or we're thinking about what crappy thing happened yesterday or last night or an hour ago or 5 minutes ago. But the only sane way to live is to live right here in this moment that's occurring. It's the only moment that's ever existed, okay? Very practical level. So how to learn mindset is you need to reclaim, Professor Nez, I'm constantly being blocked. I'm constantly thinking about things. I can't stop thinking about things. I can't stop, my mind is torturing me, my anxiety, my nerves, my fear, my regret, my emotions, my trauma, my past experiences, my conditioning. You're letting it get to you. When we talk about in this show, when we're talking about how to learn mindset, really this is the great remembrance. This is the great remembrance. You got to remember who you are. You got to remember where the power lies. Okay, you have to understand that no thought, no emotion, no feeling, no sensation has any power of its own. Its source of fuel, it's energized by your attention to it, by your interest in it. That's its food supply. The more interest that you give it, the more attention that you give it, the more power you give it. cannot live without you, but you can live without a thought. Okay? So you have this unbelievable power that you're relinquishing, that you've somehow resigned to an entity, an ephemeral, phenomenal object that doesn't have any power of its own. So it's like you're paying rent in your own home. Makes no sense at all. You are the master of this kingdom. You need to reclaim your power. So mindset is really about recognizing, acknowledging who's the one who's in control. Who's in control here? Who's the landlord? Excuse me. I'm going to go to my man Viktor Frankl, whose amazing book, Man's Search for Meaning. Great Holocaust survivor, brilliant, brilliant author, once wrote that it's not the circumstance. It's not the circumstance that has so much power. It's not the instance, or it's not the occurrence. So whatever it is that's happening in your life is not the importance, is not the crucial kind of defining moment. It's how you react to it. That's what makes all the difference. And you may not have power over events. As a matter of fact, I would say you probably have zero power over a lot of events. Life kind of has this funky way of unfolding on its own. There's a lot of people who have egos and narcissism who really truly believe, even me at sometimes, everybody has it. Everybody has their moments. We're all human beings, right? Where we think we're in complete control of our destiny. We're in complete control of events around us. We're complete control. And if something happens, it's all our fault. Or if something doesn't happen, it's all our fault. Or if something great happens, we deserve all the credit, right? Life has a funky way of unfolding on its own. So what Viktor Frankl's sort of, impetus, or his thesis is that man's greatest meaning, man's greatest purpose, man's greatest exertion of control is exhibited in his ability to choose how he responds to any given event. So translate that to what I tell my students: shit's gonna happen. There's no way to avoid shit in life. There's no way to avoid pain in life. It's impossible to avoid pain in life. Being a human being, you're gonna be fraught with pain. Pain is gonna happen. You cannot avoid pain. But suffering is a choice. What's the difference? What's the difference between pain and suffering? Pain is inevitable. Okay, right? Your car breaks down. She leaves you. You lose your job. You get sick. You break your leg. You fall down the stairs. What? Pain is inevitable. It comes in many innumerable shapes and forms. But suffering is a choice. What's the difference? Shit's gonna happen. It's how you react to it that creates the suffering. So, for example, milk is spilled. Milk is spilled, right? You spill the milk all over the floor. Let's just take a really small kind of cliche example. You spill the milk all over the floor. There's two ways that you can look at that. Okay, number one, shit happens. And let me just clean it up and move on with my life. Seems pretty practical, doesn't it? You got to be a ninja pragmatist about this. But there's many people, and you might be one of them. I know I've done this too. You invent this whole... The incident is just the incident. The incident of itself has no particular meaning. But then this dude comes in, right? It's like, oh my God, I spilled the milk. This is what see, everything's going on in my life. Why me? Why is this happening to me? I can't believe this. This is what my mom meant when she said I'll never succeed. This is what's going on in my life. And then this guy just starts chirping away, who I call the eternal doubter. Those of you Nez Nation who know my stuff, who know my books, know what I call that individual. The dude that lives inside your head that's constantly doubting you. So how to learn mindset is to recognize that, like, the milk just spilled. I don't need to invent this complete story and give it so much importance, give it so much intention. So this idea of learning mindset is about reclaiming something that's already there. It's already there. You already have this beautiful power. It's within you. What you give attention to, you give power to. What are you giving attention to? If you give attention to negative people, they will have power over you. If you give attention to what other people think of you, they will have power over you. If you give attention to toxicity, to defeatist, feeling sorry for yourself, the glass half full type of mentality, it has power over you. If you give importance, if you give attention to the eternal doubter, he will have power. This block, this anxiety, this fear, this feeling that I'm not good enough, that I'm not talented enough, that I'll never do this, I'll never do that, I'm too smart, too dull, too short, too tall, what have you. It's all this, dude. You have to reclaim your power. You have to reclaim your power. The great remembrance. So mindset first is about recognition. It's about recognition, how to learn a mindset. You got to put this into practice. The next time that you're assailed by this onslaught, I call them mind tsunamis. I wrote an article on Medium about what I learned from visiting the ER. I recently dislocated my finger. It's still pretty, look how swollen it is. It's still pretty swollen. This happened about, well, you can't tell from that view, but you can see that this is the healthy finger. Look at this finger. Look how swollen it still is. I mean, it's pretty bad. What a visit to the ER taught me about success, and it really has a lot to do with what I'm talking about right now, how to learn mindset. And how you learn is by first recognizing where your power lies. First recognizing that you are not the landlord in this house. Okay? You're not the renter in this house. You are the landlord. This is your house. You are the lord of the manor. And all these feelings, all these sensations, all these thoughts of who you think you are, and who you think you should be, and what you think you should have done, and what you think you need to do in the future, these are all visitors. These are all guests in your house. You can kick them out at any moment. You need to give the eternal doubter his eviction notice. Give him the pink slip. Get him the hell out of there. You need to really be a ninja pragmatist about this and find out which thoughts are productive, which thoughts are benefiting me, what am I giving attention to, why, and investigate this. That's what you need to do. Investigate this and find out what is your truth. That is how you learn mindset. Carol Dweck, the great Stanford psychologist, calls this a growth mindset. Changing, it's just a little tweak, it's a little shift, it's just a little bend of that former pattern, that paradigm that's dominated your life up to this point, and really breaking that pattern, okay? Breaking that pattern and looking at things from a different perspective with a different pair of eyes, and watch what happens. Pain is inevitable. You cannot avoid pain in this life, but suffering is a choice. Pain is the event. Pain is the circumstance that is beyond our control for the most part, if you really want to know the truth. But the suffering lies in how we react. As Viktor Frankl says, the true power lies. Forget about Viktor Frankl for a second. Even let's go back to the father of modern psychology, William James, okay, Henry James's brother, who said true intelligence lies in the selection of one thought over another. How does this affect your life? Forget about money. Forget about cars and houses and bling bling and careers. Who the hell are you? This is the epicenter of being a human being. This is what this show is all about. We got to get to the roots. We got to get to the fundamentals. Who the hell are you? Discover this. How do you make sense out of the world around you? How do you make sense out of the events that created you, that created your environment? What is the truth? What isn't the truth? What's fake news? What's real news? Investigate. Ask these questions. That's mindset. You adopt this growth mindset. You adopt something more pragmatic and practical. Okay, really dissecting what is bringing me down, what's elevating me, and what's de-elevating me. Okay? This takes time. This takes a little kind of, what I like to say, the great gift is solitude. Spending some time by yourself and asking yourself the tough questions. Looking yourself in the mirror and saying, who the hell are you? What do you want? What do you really, really want? And how can I get there? What's really my truth? And what isn't my truth? And how am I being affected by that? The kids are home. Anyway, I'm wishing you a powerful holiday season. If you have some time off, like I have a little incy-bincy bit of time off, not a lot, I'm still working 24/7. You know that, Nez Nation. I implore you to try to adopt this mindset. Try to learn how to look at things from a different way. Be aware. The first step is recognition, awareness. Be aware of how things are impacting you, how you're inventing stories about things that are occurring, and what those stories imply. That awareness is the first key into the first window. The more that you practice this, the more that you adopt this, the more that you imbue this in your daily paradigm, the more, I'm telling you, watch the benefits. Watch the beautiful things that happen in your life. How things change radically in a transformative way. You can be the best you. This is the only thing that's stopping you from being you. It's not your parents, it's not politicians, it's not Donald Trump. Okay? It's not how much money you have in the bank account. It's not your friends. It's this dude right here. That's the only thing stopping you from being you. The best you. You've got to recognize this. What are you giving attention to and why? Investigate. What is the truth? Who is this professor talking to me right now over this strange screen transmitted through the digital kind of revelry? What is your truth? Discover this. Investigate this. And I promise you the most important question in the human kingdom. Who are you? Find this out. Discover this. Everything else is crumbs on that large table. Everything else is just a pittance compared to this essential question that you need to answer for yourself. And only you can. Here's the really crazy part. Not even crazy, beautiful actually. Only you can answer that question. Nobody else can answer that question for you. Only you can answer that question. Nez Nation, I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for watching. If you got any value out of this, please share this. Go to my website, professornez.com, www.professornez.com. If you want more stuff like this, I've got books, I've got other things. I don't want to sell anything. I'm just saying in case you're interested. I'm going to keep bringing it. I'm going to keep coming live. This is Mindset Live with your favorite host, Professor Nez, signing off right now. A show about practical, real tools that you can apply immediately to end the torture of the psychological mind. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, Nez Nation. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.